Hey everyone, this is Ty Farrell, tight end for Indiana State University, and you're listening to the FLOGcast Network.
Hello. Welcome back. Yes, to the FLOGcast Network. Jay Ruff in the house today. Glorious day. Glorious Thursday morning here on the FLOGcast. Today I am joined by the same as always, last couple weeks, or last two, we got Mr. Quentin Blount, the owner of the Philadelphia Queefers. Q, how's it going, Q?
It's going good, man. Happy to be here. And we're also joined by our very own Stefania Bell.
Okay, well that was you kind of.
I took your thunder there.
Yeah, you did.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. I've been wanting to say that though.
Well, I mean, okay. Gosh. So and then we are also joined by he just ruined it. Jake McKinley. Jake, there you go.
Oh, sweet. Thanks. I do love me some Stefania Bell though.
She is very useful. Heck, do you fit in that category though?
I think so.
I mean, he's the closest we're gonna get.
Yeah, I think we need to bring you on for we need to have you do your own injury segment like once a week. Go over the injury. I mean, that would be cool. Like that would help you out a little bit. Like
absolutely,
yeah,
not a bad idea for sure. And
I like that.
Professionally, I'm not quite on her level yet, but I am working towards it for sure.
Absolutely, that's awesome. Skin Q, thank you so much for joining us today. We got a lot to go over, so we can't brag about Skin's ability to be Stefan Bell, or Stefania Bell, too long. We got a lot to go over. Again, we were not on earlier this week, so we have to talk about last week's matchups. Week 2 were some pretty good ones. We're gonna fireball these, and again, we can't talk about them too much because we got this to talk about, fellas. We got the waiver wire pickups to discuss a little bit about. And then we got this week approaching for week 3. We are at week 3 already. Blows my mind that we are at week 3, flying on by. But we got that to talk about as well. And we have a football game to discuss a little bit as well. So lots to go over. Q, how's your brain? You all right?
I'm good.
Okay, here we go. We're going to talk about week 2. We'll just go ahead and start with the one of them that, I mean, heck, it's kind of comical because he lost, so we're just going to do this. It's going to be the Philadelphia Queefles losing 151.3 to City's Lunch Scott Benzin's team, 198.9. You got destroyed, Q. Got destroyed big time, but you did have some, Lamar Jackson doing well for you, 45.5 fantasy points. And that's pretty much it. You got DeAndre Swift going well. I say those are your positives. Your negative, Devin Singletary. When you're going to catch a hint that he, sometimes is wishy-washy there.
Devin Singletary looked good, but the Bills were blowing out the Titans in the second quarter, so he stopped playing.
And DK Metcalf, 5.5.
DK Metcalf is getting targets, though. I'm going to keep him in my lineup.
Oh, absolutely should. Skin, what do you think the positive and negatives for his Q's team here?
Obviously Lamar balling out, but the one in DeAndre Swift doing well with limited touches. We haven't had a blow-up game for Christian McCaffrey yet, so kind of waiting to see with that. Are they limiting some of those touches back there? And then obviously old man Tom Brady is showing his age this season right now, and is that a trend for the future? But I would say those are the biggest things. Obviously Devin Singletary, I personally don't believe in him as a fantasy asset, so.
James Cook saw a lot more action.
Because they were up by 50.
The game was over, so I think that backfield is just you don't want.
But he looked more explosive. He looked good.
Well, trust me, when Keenan Allen and Chris Godwin are healthy and DeAndre Hopkins comes back,
Oh boy, here we go.
Fair point.
He won't be in my lineup.
Positive, negatives for your team, Q.
Yeah, I mean Lamar Jackson, obviously. I want to go ahead. I'm going to kind of pat myself on the back, but not completely just yet, because I did in my QB rankings. I predicted Lamar to be number 1 when no one else did. So and he is number 1 right now. It's been only 2 weeks, but it's looking good.
Good for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay,
that's all I wanted.
We gotta give you at least some kind of praise. Good job, Q. Good job.
Other than that, I mean, like you guys, I didn't really have Daniel Carlson, my kicker. He did pretty good.
All right.
And this is a perfect moment for the crow right there. All right. Positive and negatives for Scotty Benzine's team. We'll go ahead and start with you, Skin.
Obviously, Pat Mahomes had a kind of a down game, but there's one right there that stands out. Tua. What is that? Is that here to stay with those speed demons on the outside?
They look good.
Tua
they look good.
Put up some numbers, video game numbers. So I don't know. I obviously don't see Tua doing that every week, but
you don't see him throwing for 470 and 6 touchdowns every week.
No, I don't. Or putting up 30 or more every week. I don't see that happening, but still, obviously, his numbers are going to be vastly improved with those two guys out there.
Yeah.
He's got to be happy about that. He's got to be happy about Michael Thomas as well. Been solid these first 2 weeks. Seems to be a consistent contributor. And Cortland Sutton, that's one guy that you just never really know with him and Jerry Jeudy. Was Jeudy out last week?
I don't know.
He was not.
Okay, but I know he got hurt. So Cortland Sutton stock maybe on the rise. Negatives, I couldn't really find many with his team. It was pretty consistent. The biggest thing is just Austin Eckler, doesn't have his performances like he had last year, and Najee Harris, still kind of seems to be picking up speed a little bit.
Josh Jacobs, is he in a negative category? That's who I have as one of my negatives, I guess. Back-to-back weeks, under 10 points, no touchdowns there, and under 70 yards. Is that a concern?
Personally, it doesn't surprise me. I guess is why it's not a negative for me. I think he's got plenty of guys on his bench who could fill in. But I wouldn't be too concerned about it, but I also wouldn't be mad to put him on the bench if I was Benzing.
I have Tua as a positive. Yep, that's good. Buccaneers defense. Anytime you can get a defense that puts 20 or more points in there, it's got to be a positive. So Buccaneers just destroying New Orleans there. Negative, I said, Josh Jacobs. That's pretty much the only negative I have there, really. Hopefully, he still got George Kittle on his bench. Hopefully he will return. But Tyler Higbee did pretty good for him that week against Atlanta. So his team looked pretty solid, scoring 198.9. What do you think, Q?
Yeah, he's got Amari Cooper on the bench too. 9 catches, 101 yards, and a touchdown. Put up 20 points. It wasn't that long ago. Amari Cooper was – I still think he's probably one of the best receivers in the league. He's just in a weird situation. But, I think that's an interesting decision Scott's going to have next week. Josh Jacobs or, Amari Cooper. Josh Jacobs did have 19 carries, so he didn't do a ton with it, but I think he liked that volume. Other than that, Higbee looks good. Michael Thomas, I think we've said, probably should be in his lineup going forward. And then Tua, that just makes me sick, honestly.
That's sickening. Yeah, sickening. All right.
The one thing I will say, too, to add on to that is George Kittle might be the big winner with Trey Lance going out. I guess you never really got the chance to see it, but him and Jimmy G obviously have pretty good rapport. So that could help Kittle there as long as he can stay healthy.
Good point.
Absolutely. All right, moving on to the next matchup. I found a nut. The LeBron Kings 172.4. So Terry's Terrace 116.9. He gets one of those. Terry's Terrace getting smacked in the face. But he had lots of bad luck. We're gonna go ahead and start with him. Trey Lance, that's negative. But it's a lot of bad luck there. In his end, out for the rest of the season. There's also another bad luck guy, and Jerry Jeudy. I think, like you said, Skin went out with a rib injury. He was, I believe, targeted 3 times, only 1 catch there. So, I caught a nut there, or found a nut there, and James Conner also a negative there against Las Vegas, only running the ball 7 times for 25 yards. Positives.
He also got hurt.
He also got hurt too.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess Bills offense, offense too, but defense, 22 points there for Marcus, and the only other player over 20 was Matthew Stafford. Positives there. What do you think, Skin?
It's tough to find positives in a week like this for Marcus. I'm going to say the biggest positive is Drake London on his bench. Get that guy in your lineup, dude. He's the real deal at this point. Mariota loves him some big targets, and they're not really going to Kyle Pitts a ton. I mean, I'm sure that will even out, but yeah, Drake London, he found a guy. So
he's a real deal. Yeah, I think he is. Yep.
And it's good to see Stafford bounce back after a poor week 1, but it seems like the Buffalo defense will do that to anybody and everybody. So, outside of that, obviously, big loss in Trey Lance. James Conner, we'll see. I hear it's not anything serious, but he may be out a week. I don't know. But yeah, I think his team's okay, just getting some injuries. So,
Wayne Kill.
We're only doing Marcus's team? Sorry, because we went through yours, so I thought we were gonna do yours.
We did not go through mine. We did not go through mine.
Anyway,
starting with Terry's team.
So Terry, yeah, there's not a lot of positives you can find, honestly. The Buffalo defense, he has them. Like you said, Drake London, I think skin pretty much already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Good positive there.
Drake London's got to be in there going forward.
Absolutely. We'll discuss his matchup and see, or his current lineup and see if he's got him in there right now currently. My team, positives, again, I thought, Nick Chubb being the number one running back right now gave me 30.8 fantasy points, and Stephon Diggs. I think it's clear cut. Those two are my positives. Very good weeks by those guys. I like myself some James Robinson as well. My negatives is Zeke Elliott. I think he, the last 2 weeks and we kind of discussed this in the off season. He definitely looks slower than Pollard. It's you can definitely see it. But hopefully, I'm still believing in old Elliott, and hopefully he can fight through it. And Derrick Henry, another negative there. Back-to-back weeks with only 8 points. He did get in the end zone, but still, that's not good. If you got in the end zone and gave me 8.5 points, that's not very good. And Kirk Cousins also a negative. What do you guys think?
Yeah, obviously Nick Chubb. That's going without explanation. He's going to be in your lineup every week. Steph Diggs, I just don't understand as a Titans coach why you put an undrafted rookie on one of the best wide receivers in the league. Just makes no sense to me. But okay, we'll move on from that. I can go for Diggs. I think the biggest positive for you is picking up Curtis Samuel.
Yeah.
That got him off the waivers for cheap and seems to be a consistent contributor as of now.
$12, not bad.
Yeah, I think Curtis Samuel's easily the number one target for Washington, and as of right now, I think Carson Wentz is second in the league in passing yards. So
oh boy,
that'll change.
It might, but I don't see him being out of the top 5 or top 10. They're gonna be slinging it, dude.
He's looking better than last year.
He's looking good. One thing I want to give you a pat on the back for too. Devontae Smith stayed in the lineup after 0 catches last week. Comes out 7 catches, 80 yards. He looked good.
Yeah.
Looked better.
He looked good.
Better.
He looked good. He looked good.
Yeah, I did get a little excited when he at least caught a pass. Yes.
The very first play of the game, they went right to him.
Oh yeah.
I also think, obviously, James Robinson drafted late, and he's clearly the number 1 running back in Jacksonville. Was a good snag, and can be in your lineup. I think you got to be a little bit encouraged by the Cam Akers increase in workload as well. So
yeah,
something to look forward to towards the end of the year.
Positive as well. I agree with you again. Let's move on. Let's move on to the next one we have in the Magic School Bus. Just destroying the Savage Patch Kids, 218.1 to 112.0. I think it's clear cut who the worst team is, and that's the Savage Patch Kids. Very, it's. I guess we'll talk about this in the next week here, but we'll just with this matchups again. Justin Herbert positive. And T. Higgins, positive. Back from an injury there, a little injury, 16.1 fantasy points. Negatives, Dalton Schultz, 0.8, never good to see. And
Taysom
the Michael Carter situation. Michael Carter situation. Last week it was him. This week, last week it was week 1. It was Michael Carter. Week 2, now it's Hill. That's just what we're gonna Hall. Sorry, that's just what we're gonna see. I believe in this backfield in New York, and that's what TC has to do and face. What do you guys think?
You can go, what?
Yeah. Michael Carter still had 7.5 points. Not amazing, but he had 5 catches, so that kind of helps. Um, yeah, I mean, honestly, TC's roster is so bad, he might have to put in Carter and Brees Hall, both. He might just have to put them both in. Like he really started Taysom Hill in the flex over Brees Hall, over Chris
Yes.
Olave, over Brandon Ayuk. Like
And I forgot. Sorry, I
Tony
forgot to
Pollard, the guy he
overlook
just
that.
traded for.
Uh-huh. I was gonna give him smack for that.
Yeah, what's he doing?
I don't know. Like,
He must be smoking too much of that good in Cali because
and he picked up Carson Wentz, and Carson Wentz back-to-back weeks over 30 points, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, are you going to start Wentz over Burrow or Herbert?
I'm starting him over Burrow after what I saw the first, Wentz has showed it 2 weeks in a row, and Burrow has showed he's not.
2 weeks in a row compared to 3 seasons of work, though? I mean,
3 seasons of work. What are you talking about?
Burrow is clearly the guy. I mean, he's had one really good year last year. I mean, obviously tore his ACL the year before that, but Wentz has been terrible the last 3 years.
I wouldn't say he's been terrible, but
I mean, he hasn't been.
No, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, he kept
traded for Burrow.
Yeah,
as
a keeper.
So what's he gonna do? I mean, that was a terrible move already.
I think what TC did, he picked up Wentz to play defense on other people. Probably. And I think that's what he did.
Yeah.
Because he clearly doesn't need. I mean.
Or like you said, a bye week, or if an injury happens. Yeah.
I think he already threw out Burrow as a trade candidate too in our group chat. I mean, but if you're ready to give up on a dude week 1 that you traded for as a keeper and gave up significant picks for, bro, you know you messed up.
Yeah, that was not the best of moves. But
all right.
Yeah.
All right, move on to the Magic School Bus. Multiple positives here. His quarterbacks did well. Murray and Goff. Goff with 30 fantasy points. Good for him. Currently a top 10 quarterback. Who would have thunk it? Heck. And then Aaron Jones woke up from the dead. 30.5 fantasy points. Mike Williams did well also. And finally, Jalen Waddle in the lineup there. 34.6 fantasy points. That's what happens when you start the Waddle right there, Keegan. Good for you. Getting rid of that silliness there. What do you guys? Well, actually, negatives. We'll see what Javonte Williams does. I don't like that 9.0 points, and also Jamar Chase with 8.0, and Dalvin Cook, or 8.3, and Dalvin Cook with 5.6. Those are negatives there. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I agree, and I'll give props to Keegan for he fluctuated with that QB2 spot quite a bit throughout the week. I think 3 different guys in there at one point, and he picked the right one. I think Washington's defense is just bad, but Goff is obviously playing very well, and it helps having a stud like Amon St. Brown out there. So, But, of course, right when I open my mouth about Aaron Jones, the dude just starts going nuts. I mean, A.J. Dillon, still has significant carries, and he seems like he's in the ball game a little bit more, but they definitely use Aaron Jones when it gets down to the red zone, and he's going to score some touchdowns. So, it's hard to see. Next year, things might change in terms of Keegan's keeper status now that he has Waddle too, but that's a situation to monitor. But still, got to love that out of Aaron Jones. Props for him keeping Mike Williams in there, very similar to Devontae. They went to him early and often, which they should have. I mean, Keenan was out, so who knows how that's going to play out as well. And Mark Andrews looking like Mark Andrews. What more do you want?
Yeah. And Waddle was targeted 19 times.
Yeah, it's insane.
Jesus.
19 times. What do you think, Keel?
Yeah, no, I mean, you hit every nail on the head, really. All
right.
Waddle's a bright spot. Andrews, definitely. Mike Williams, good for him. Aaron Jones, Jared Goff. Yeah, man. It's like I said at the beginning, I think when I did a roster review, this was my favorite roster, top to bottom.
Yeah, I didn't see that after week 1, but I see why now.
And this is without Jamar Chase really doing anything. Dalvin Cook did nothing. This could have been worse. Yeah.
Okay. Next matchup. Tennessee Titans stay undefeated, 203.0 versus the Brownie Batter team, 141.5. You had Skin had three guys scoring over 30 points. And that's not including Cooper Kupp, 26.3 fantasy points. Very good, matchups or players there going off for you, Skin. And you also got a kicker scoring 13 fantasy points. But we're going to skip all of your positives and look at that second flex spot. There it is, 1.5 fantasy points. I would like a written apology, Skin. I would like a letter in the mail saying that you are sorry, and something needs to be thrown my way.
Yeah, you were right. That he's gonna
again only 1 week, but that 1 week there.
I'm glad that it didn't hurt me. But Penny's going to be riding the bench until further notice.
Skin, he should have been right. He should be riding the freaking waiver wire bench. That's what he should be doing.
Yeah, you're probably right. But hey, I drafted him, so I'm going to eat it for a bit. But I'm lucky my bench is solid. So.
And I looked in, your current roster, and thankfully he is not on there. Thank goodness. Just takes 1 week. But again, I mean, you could seriously, it wouldn't have mattered. It really freaking 200.
No, you just have a cheat code at quarterback, so like,
both guys doing well, absolutely, and also doing all that with Justin Jefferson, your guy, only having 7.8,
and Jonathan Taylor.
And Jonathan Taylor,
my two best players.
Oh, your two best players. That's just disgusting. That is just gross.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you. And did you find a possible new keeper, Skin, at Amon-Ra St. Brown?
I mean, I can't say that I would keep him in my current roster situation, but he could be a keeper for another team. That's for sure. Like TC.
So if he keeps this up, you would not keep him.
I mean, who would I keep him over?
Well,
I mean, he's younger than Cooper Kupp.
Well, Jameson Williams is coming back. I need to see how that plays out too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, very true.
But I do think Amon-Ra. I mean, he's a dude.
Yeah,
he's a dog.
He is.
First 2 weeks, definitely looking good. That's for sure. The Brownie Batter team, Tyreek Hill again. I felt like the whole Miami Dolphins team did well. Tyreek Hill doing very well. I think we said Waddle had 19 targets. This guy, I was looking at the season. Sorry. He had 13. He had 13 targets, caught it 11 times for 2 touchdowns there. Good positive there for Mr. Connor Limback. And Derek Carr did all right with 20.9. That was the other one I saw. But Kyle Pitts, wow. Back-to-back weeks, 2 points. That's not good. And also Juju Smith-Schuster with 2.5. That's another negative there. What do you guys think?
Yeah, one of the positives is on his bench. That's Mr. Garrett Wilson. He looks good, man. So I think Connor probably is going to have him in his lineup after that. We'll see. You don't always want to chase, but as long as Flacco's still playing, I think he's thrown the most times in the league so far. He's number 3 in passing yards, I'm pretty sure. So they're just slinging it too. But yeah, obviously Tyreek Hill. David Montgomery looked good. I'll give him props there. He looked good. I don't think negatives obviously Pitts. Yeah, it's not. It does not seem like a favorable situation for Pitts, especially the way Arthur Smith, the head coach, talks about. He doesn't really care about getting him involved. Like, I don't know. It's weird. I don't like it.
It is a little weird. I think it's a matter of time. I mean, I think Connor's in a tough spot because he's got some really good staple type of players, but the rest of the roster around his main guys just isn't very good. And I mean, you can't trust Juju on a week-to-week basis.
Yep.
Kyle Pitts, I mean, that one just sucks. That's going to hurt him. I mean, you can't bench him, but, it's one of those things where it's going to be inconsistent season. I feel like some weeks this roster could blow up, Other weeks it's going to be like this, a lot of single digits around there. And I mean, AJ Brown only 9.4, so it's not really what you're looking for. And Barkley looked like the old Barkley of last year too, so he has some concerns for sure.
Yeah.
It's probably a matter of time till we see Justin Fields on that waiver wire now.
Oh boy, here we go. Gosh. All right, let's move on to the waiver wire pickups that happened on Tuesday. Or I'm sorry, Wednesday morning. This is, compared to last week, this is a little bit more of a dud week, but we did have a couple we'd like to go over. Jacoby Myers, he was the top guy on the list. The highest bid offer there was $8 to the Scotty Benzine's team. Heck, he did well last week. I thought he was targeted 13 times, caught at 9 for 95 yards. So I think, I think it's a good solid bet, right? You guys think for $8, not bad. Only 2 other offers there, myself included, with $1. Skin, you threw a big old whopping $0 in there. So he might overbet a little bit, but I think it was worth it to see what he got there in New England. But Robert Woods, you agree with this? $7. I think it was the only one here. Skin, heck, he's on your Titans team. What do you think about the Woods pickup here? $7 for Connor Lindback.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely an overpay, but I think it was an okay pickup for his roster. He's going to have to be patient, though. I mean, I think ultimately the goal is to have Robert Woods be the number 1 target, but I don't know, man. I mean, it just depends on how their season plays out. Are they going to be competitive and actually get a win here in the next few weeks? I mean, that's going to change a lot of things, because if not, and they transition to a rebuild, Robert Woods is probably gone next year. So I don't see them trying to integrate him as the number 1. They're going to start looking more towards Traylon Burks and Kyle Phillips getting most of the work. So I think it's an okay pickup. Just he overpaid for Robert Woods.
He did. I think this is a $0 or $1 thing. Nothing outstanding. Heck, he was targeted 5 times, got it 4 last week, in 5.9 fantasy points. I don't think that was a $7 bid there. No. But also, my mistake, Marcus threw in a $5 bid for Jacoby Myers there. But heck, look at this. Look at that. I had to rub my eyes, fellas.
Yeah.
Marcus was active on the waiver wire board there, and then this picked up $7, put $7 in for Geno Smith. I mean, oh yeah, good for him. Good for him.
Yeah,
for making activity. Heck, he would have put $7 for Peyton Manning if he's still in there, and we would have. Then one of those activity. Good job, Marcus. Doing some activity there. $7, Geno Smith. No big deal. Again, he tried to get Myers in there for $5. Was unsuccessful. But Geno Smith, what do you guys think? $7 overpaid?
Yeah. Yeah, but Marcus also had to do something at quarterback, and if that's the guy he really wants, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's an overpay, but I understand too why he felt he had to do that.
Yeah, let him do it.
I agree.
All right, I threw some bids in there. Tyler Lockett, $2. Tyler, I can never say his name. Agier from Atlanta there, and $2 for Gerald Everett. $6 right there total for those 3 guys. What do you think about those 3 pickups? Q, you dropped Lockett. Skin, you dropped Algier.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Oh, someone did.
Skin,
TC?
didn't you, Skin?
No.
I think TC maybe, or I'm not sure.
I think it was TC. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
One of you losers did.
I didn't love dropping Lockett, but
you should have realized this is what Tyler Lockett does all the time.
Yeah.
He's a boomer bust. He's similar to Mike Williams.
He would still be on my roster if I had just even literally one single spot. I think that, but I have 3 players that are hurt, 1 player that's suspended. I just don't have a lot of room.
You also have DK Metcalf,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
but you
part
did
of
draft him, so
I did. And he was, so
here you go, Skin.
I like the pickup.
Your decision here: Tyler Lockett or MVS from Kansas City.
Yeah, Tyler Lockett.
Okay.
Well, it's not close Q. either.
There you go, Q.
Yeah, I agree. I've been meaning. I mean, I was probably going to drop Valdez-Scantling, but I do want to see it. Valdez-Scantling has been targeted. He didn't do a lot with his targets last week, but I want to see what this Kansas City passing game kind of turns into. That's why I wanted to keep him. I think he's my favorite receiver on their team. So I want to keep him for another week or two and just see kind of how that evolves.
All right. Anything else worth discussing? We all good?
Well, I do see that I don't see a single bid there from Mr. Blunt.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I was curious.
I remember last week he said he was going to go after Gerald Everett.
Yeah, I was. I know. I know. Yeah, but Dallas Goedert's my boy. Goddard just looks so good. I just can't. I mean, I think Everett looks really good, but there's no point. I don't want to drop anybody that I have to. Goddard's going to be in my lineup every week, so.
Everett or MVS?
Well, again, I understand why Everett, most people would want Everett, but in my situation, the only time he's going to play is on a bye week. 1 week.
Well, I mean, with me, I didn't need him.
Okay.
But sometimes, heck,
this is roster churning.
Huh?
This is just roster churning.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what you got to do.
And I get that, but you also, there's a fine line between roster churning and also I'm not giving up on someone because they've had, one down week.
You did with Tyler Lockett. Don't give me that crap.
We just established though there was more to it.
And that's the definition of Tyler Lockett. He has one bad week and then goes off the next one.
I know, but I have DK Metcalf and I'm not going to bench DK Metcalf ever.
Well, you drafted him.
I know, because he was the best player available to me.
Oh, you hurt my brain.
Relax, dude. Take a chill pill.
Goodness, McFlib. Good for you.
I don't think Tyler Lockett's worth getting that worked up over.
Yeah.
No, but I just find it comical. I find it.
Right.
I find it funny.
It is a little ironic.
It's just enjoyable to me, I think. But all right, you guys go with those waiver wire pickups. Okay,
yes.
Let's finally move on to our matchups. Week 3. We are 3 weeks down. I think we got 2 undefeated teams, Tennessee Titans and Scotty Benzin's team. We got 2 teams winless. I think it's 2 teams, right? Only one.
2
teams. Yeah, 2 teams that are winless. In TC's team, Savage Patch Kids, and Terry's Terrorist. Any surprises there, fellas?
The Terrorists, I'm a little surprised.
A little bit surprised on him. Okay.
I am as well, just because he was the second highest scorer week 1. He just kind of got the shaft.
Yeah.
Last week with some.
I am not surprised. No.
Fair enough.
I'm not surprised. This is what happens. This is what happens when you don't care about fantasy football. Right here. 0-2. That's what should happen. It hasn't been happening. But this makes sense. This is normal. It should be normal. 0-2.
Yeah. Fantasy gods are pooping on him a little bit.
Finally. Goodness, McFlibber. All right. Let's move on to Skinley. Our matchup here. Tennessee Titans versus the LeBron Kings. We will not say the projection score. We'll start with your team, Skinley. The very first thing I did was scroll down to that second flex spot and see who you had there. Congratulations, you did it. You did it.
Yep.
2 weeks there. No big deal. Christian Kirk, well-deserved to be in that spot. He looks good. He looks good, and especially, last week against that beautiful Indianapolis secondary defense. He just tore them up. He only had 6 targets, but caught all those for 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Are you happy about Christian Kirk? He was a late-round draft pick too, I believe.
Yeah, obviously I am. And, I mean, he was definitely one of the guys I had circled, between him and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Those are the 2. And Bateman, I would say, that I drafted in a lot of leagues. But, I mean, I also had my duds with Rashad Penny. I'm not quite sure what I was thinking there. But, I am obviously happy with Christian Kirk, and I'm kind of surprised how late he did fall because he got paid as a number 1 receiver. Yeah. So, he's going to be involved in the offense. I've never been a believer of the Jaguars, and Trevor Lawrence still honestly has not completely sold me. So because of those reasons, I waited to see, what Christian Kirk would look like in this offense. But yeah, he's clearly shown that even with little targets, he can do some work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
Anything catch your eye here, Q?
Yeah, Christian Kirk definitely. I was surprised too how late he fell in the draft, and he was somebody I was hoping I could get. I think Skin took him a few picks before. Like I was very close to taking him as well. But he had 12 targets week 1 for 6 catches, 117 yards. Week 2, obviously 6 targets, 6 catches. He's wide receiver 7 right now in the year. So, I mean, he's got to be in the lineup, right? Like, so far. Yeah, I think that's huge. And when you have Doug Peterson as a coach, I've been saying this all offseason, he was going to make that team competitive. Doug Peterson is a very competent NFL head coach. He knows how to coach offense. He knows how to score points. I'm not saying the Jags...
It's not tough to get much better than Urban Meyer.
Exactly. And, yeah. So, yeah, I think that's a very good person to put in the flex. But you also did have some options. Jahan Dotson's looked good. His projections are... Well, he is playing against Philly this week.
Yeah, so I looked at matchups because I was debating between Kirk and Rashad Bateman. But Bateman against New England, Jahan Dotson against Philly, both are like, So I went with Christian Kirk. I mean, even though Chargers defense is solid too, their secondary especially.
Yeah.
Here is this is just a flat out question here. And this is a real question. I guess I'm asking you, Q. I know this is week 3, okay? But will the Tennessee Titans, will he lose this year? And I'm asking you this because we mentioned it already. He had 2 of his 4 keepers just not doing well. They just didn't look good. Jonathan Taylor and Justin Jefferson. They didn't look good. But he had other guys just going nutty. And then he had Penny in his second flex spot. Again, he had tiny little things that didn't go his way, but he scored over 200 points. Mm-hmm. So I don't. Even if he had some guys, not doing well, he's got some other guys just going absolutely nuts. So do you think he only lost 2 matchups last year? 2, the best record in flock. This is a better team than last year, I believe, so far. Going into week 3. Now, I know, again, I might be stretching it out, saying, will he ever lose in week 3? But
no, it's a fair question to ask.
Yeah,
I think the answer is probably yes, but I definitely could see it not happening either. Like because of the quarterbacks, it doesn't matter how those quarterbacks are going to put up a lot of points each week. I think we can actually expect to see I'm on Ross St. Brown's not going to score 35 points every week. Mm-hmm. I think he's very good, don't get me wrong, but I don't think that's going to continue. And then I think also Justin Jefferson, he's not going to get shut down every week, but I think teams they're going to see how the Eagles played him. Obviously, most teams don't have Darius Slay, but I think...
Or James Bradbury.
Yeah.
Bradbury did well.
They both did.
No team has the Phillies corners, so
you're right. But there are ways to I don't know how I want to say this, but if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm saying I'm putting all of my focus on this guy. This guy is not beating us. I don't care who else. We can leave the other guys wide open for all I give a for all I care. Sorry, I almost cursed, but.
Yeah,
I would have expected that too, but you watched what Tennessee did against Steph Diggs, and they said, no, our undrafted rookie scrub can cover one-on-one Stephon Diggs. I would say that too, but clearly you don't have to be all that smart to be an NFL coach.
Well, the thing is, too, you have to give props to the Vikings offensive coaching staff because they do a great job of moving Jefferson around and kind of finding ways to get him on good matchups.
Yeah.
So that is definitely part of it. But back to the original question, I think I would say yes, you are going to lose. But that's just based on probability, I feel like.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I don't want to ever say I'm going to run the table because I just don't. It's fantasy football. So many things can happen.
Yeah.
And week 7, both my
Like-
quarterbacks are on buys.
Okay, exactly.
So
that's part
week
of it.
7 is going to be a tough one.
Who do you play week 7? I think I'm week 5. Dang
It's
it.
probably Scott.
Well, I mean,
Hasn't Scott been getting lucky and playing
I'm about to check
Skin when
it is. It's Scott.
shock? Dude, something smells fishy here.
Yeah, and he's the commissioner. He's got to be setting these
and
lineups.
he said that he refreshed.
Oh
he,
my
did
god!
the randomize on our roster. I don't think. My schedule. I don't think my schedule changed. Like I played the same first 3 people. Like
he
boom, boom, boom.
refreshed his schedule after he saw everyone else's.
Like customized. He did it himself. Something smells fishy here. Yep.
Yeah, we might have to keep a closer eye on that.
We got you, Scotty. We got
We're
an eye
on to him.
you. Yep. All right, my team. How's my team looking like, fellas?
Come
on now.
The team, it's not terrible.
Well, then what was the pause about? That was kind of.
Well, I was just waiting for Skin, but
which one of us knew
Yeah.
to go? But I was taking a gander.
yeah,
You know, I wouldn't feel terrible about it by any means. You know, I would expect Derrick Henry to at least do something against Las Vegas. They're not the greatest team in the world, you know, but if they get down 14 points right off the bat this year, which is different than other years, they seem to go away from him a little bit more. Diggs against Miami, don't love the matchup is the problem. Don't love the matchup. Miami's corners are solid, so that one is tough. And then Curtis Samuel against Philly, good luck, dude. Like, I just don't like it. I just don't like the matchups. I think you have some tough matchups this week, which makes things a lot harder for you, harder than it already is going to be. So I don't think those things help you very much. Aaron Rodgers at Tampa Bay, don't like it. You know, Kirk Cousins versus Detroit, I think is a good one, good matchup. But then again, I've got Justin Jefferson. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a tough matchup against me and then tough matchup with your players overall.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. Like, why? Like, I like the lineup honestly. Like compared to some of the other teams in the league, but you're playing against Jake, so. But actually, I'm looking at Curtis Samuel and I'm thinking normally I wouldn't like this matchup, but I don't think like Slay. I don't think it's just gonna shadow Curtis Samuel like he did Justin Jefferson. I think it's gonna be kind of more of. I don't know. We'll see. I guess I haven't. I usually watch all the press conferences and stuff.
He picked Samuel over Terry McLaurin? No,
I'm just saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know that if anyone was to be shadowed by Darius Slay, it would be Terry McLaurin, in my opinion.
Right. Right.
But I don't know that the Eagles will even move Slay around. I think it'll just be he plays one side, Bradbury plays the other. Samuel gets moved around all over. He's in the backfield. So I think I understand the matchup still. Philly's defense is very good, but I still think, Samuel's got to be in your lineup. I think he could probably do better than what you might expect.
Hopefully. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then.
All right.
I think that's the biggest thing for me is I don't love your matchups, and I kind of like my matchups with my players too. Like of course. Jefferson, Detroit,
Jake,
Cooper,
you don't even
Arizona.
have to look at your Like we don't.
Don't
even look at
Minnesota.
We're gonna like your matchups no matter every week.
All right, Skin. Okay. Q, I told you we shouldn't have brought him on.
I mean, I'm just being honest.
I literally every time I pull your team, I just see Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts, and I just close out. Like it's just disgusting. Those two just smiling at me. I'm just no.
Yeah.
All right. Who again? So you guys think Tennessee Titans going to win this one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I believe in an underdog story.
Of course you do.
So, of course. Who is winning the overall matchup?
Me.
How many times have you guys played?
We have played, again, we've played 16 times. Me and Connor have played 22 times. I'm sorry, no, 23 times. Yeah. So again, because I play him first time every week, all the time. I did last year. Scotty said he refreshed it.
You should be happy about that, though.
Well,
right?
Yeah, I guess. But it's getting old. Just what it's getting. All right. Yeah,
16 times.
16 times.
I'm saying Jake has won 11. You've won 5.
Skin, you got a guess?
I'll go 10-6.
10-6. Okay. Q, good job. Did you cheat?
No, I did not. But it's just
right on dot.
Yeah,
he's beaten me 11-5. 11-5. He swept me last year, and I got him. The year before. That's when me and him battled big time in the Tour of the Bowl. No big deal. So, all right, good job, Skin. Let's move on to our next matchup. We'll go ahead and start with you, Q, the Savage Patch Kids going up against the Philadelphia Queefles. This one, I mean, heck, again, the projection score is a little whoppy, but because TC's team. This is TC's team, man. This is a different island for him. If you look in his history, he has not had a losing season, TC, since 2016. I had one kid then. So that's a long time. He's had pretty good success since then. So this is a different feel for him. This is definitely not good. His team is just not. This is a very poor team. And currently he's got those two guys in Burrow and Herbert, but Damian Harris and Michael Carter, that just doesn't scream yumminess to me. T. Higgins, Ayuk, and Chris Olave, and the young 3 wide receivers there, but again, it's not good. Alvin Kamara and Tony Pollard, and then Dawson Knox. What do you guys think about the Savage Patch Kids?
Yeah, my advice to TC is that I think sometimes he tries to find that diamond in the rough a little too early. Like he did last year with dumping Mike Williams for Joshua Palmer. It's like he was trying to be ahead of the breakout candidate before he broke out. And
didn't he do that one time with one player? And
then
ever since it might have been one or two.
Was it Kamara or something?
I think it was Kamara.
Yeah, I think it was
actually.
He
got Kamara off the waivers.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, but you can't repeat that type of stuff. And I mean, it's just tough. I mean, and AJ Dillon and Breece Hall are on his bench.
Yeah.
He's got so many tough decisions every week, and they're all kind of grouped in there and just met. So, I mean, yeah, he's in a rough spot. I'll be shocked if he does not lose the toilet bowl.
It's like it almost begs the question. Like, I think this might be like in flog history. We're talking here, in all of flog history. This might be like the worst team ever. Right? Like, is that fair to say? Because I mean, he literally we have never seen this big of a rebuild before, I don't think. Even when we had Scott and Marcus first enter the league as basically expansion teams, their rosters were better than this.
Who if you guys remember, who had the worst team in flog right now? The worst team in flog history. The worst record, anyways. You guys remember? You guys know? The worst record.
Don't.
Connor.
Yeah, I would guess Connor too.
It's Connor.
Yeah.
3-12. Skin, you're close.
I figured.
Yeah, Skin's.
You're 3-11.
Okay.
3-11, but technically, percentage-wise, you're a little bit better than Connor. But that was back in 2015, year 1.
Okay.
But you think this team is worse than that team?
I do.
TC's team.
We may have to bring up the stats at the end of the year, like scoring points per week. But we have added roster positions too, so that may make it tough.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, but I don't know. TC again. He made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years in a row making it a top 3 finish. That's not looking good for TC.
So here, I've got a question for both of you. Like, if you're TC, are you trying to? Because he needs to do something. Like he needs to either start making moves to acquire draft picks. But honestly, before that, what he needs to do is make moves to acquire keepers that are like keeper worthy.
Yes, and again, because he doesn't want to lose the toilet bowl. He's kind of made it known that he doesn't want to get last place. So he's got to at least find, because right now he doesn't have keepers. He really doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a couple guys that all right, but I mean, he's got to find a footprint of a keeper, and ride with him, and hopefully he can, get him out of this toilet bowl that's ahead of him.
And I know I already harped on this once, but it comes back to one of the biggest mistakes that he made in this offseason. He knew he was going for a rebuild, and then he traded away assets to get Joe Burrow as a keeper when he had Kyler Murray. Like, why?
Yeah.
Like, why?
That makes no sense.
That went against the grain of a rebuild, giving away future assets. I mean, not that you expected Burrow to start off this poorly, but why? Like, Kyler Murray was ahead of him in the rankings, even though, I mean, Kyler hasn't been great either, but that just made no sense.
I think
to me
he just wanted that Burrow and Higgins stack for whatever reason.
If you had Chase, I'd get it, but
yeah. Well, I mean, I still wouldn't even get it then, honestly. But it would make a little more sense, I guess. But
yeah, and I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what he can do because of trading away some assets. Like, yeah, if he wants to rebuild, he needs to get future draft capital, but he needs to not get last either. So it is a very tough spot. And, like, I know he is out there trying to find some trades at the moment. So I respect him for that. It's just, it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, and it's tough to make trades right now because, like you said, I mean, I've been in some talks with him too about certain things, but I'm not ready to really make trades just yet. Like, I want to see what my players, and like we're all hopeful that we're going to be in the playoffs, and so why would we trade away our best players now? Like, he should have been making these moves in the off season, leading up to the season. Not, it's just a lot of question marks. Yeah, I know you did.
You tried.
I mean, DeAndre Swift was sitting on my roster all summer long.
Yes, he was.
Man.
Thank you very much.
All right, who is winning this week between these two guys? Or did we already talk about? We didn't talk about Q-Stein.
We didn't talk about Q-Stein yet.
We skipped Q-Stein.
Well,
you still got Lamar Jackson. Tom Brady's still on your roster. Good for you. I mean, heck, do you have any other options?
No, I don't have another quarterback.
So
the main guy pushing for the 4 QBs, I've still only got 2 on my
shot.
Don't you, Jake, as well? Do you only have 2?
Yeah, I only have 2. I only need 2, though.
Exactly, but it's just...
And why were you guys crying
so
much?
Okay, what would happen week 7? I'd have to drop Josh Allen.
Exactly.
That's your fault.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No, it was because you didn't draft properly last year.
That's so stupid. That is so dumb.
It's dumb. In a 2 QB league, it's dumb.
Yes.
No, you guys aren't even using it. So that's dumb.
I will be week 7.
That's dumb. No.
Well, that was part of the argument right there, was that you don't have to use it. Like, it's only there if you need it.
Exactly.
Well, you guys got it because you guys cried loud. So good for you. Good for you. Chris McCaffrey, any concerns here? Q, you inherited him during the off season. You coughed up a lot of draft picks. Again, our concerns here. I mean, he scored last 2 weeks 13 and 14 points.
Yes.
Normally, you can settle with that, but this is Chris McCaffrey. Any concerns here?
Well, 13 points week 1, 14 points week 2, and guess what? He's running back 9 on the season.
Mm-hmm. But that's not normal for Chris McCaffrey.
No, and that he's going to be better. Like, I don't have any concerns. I mean, obviously, a little bit in the fact that, like... Well, I mean, it's like now that I'm thinking about it, I mean, I guess that's a little concerning in itself, but you would think it's gonna get better. So I'm not concerned from that standpoint, but I don't know.
I got no concerns. No concerns at all.
Well,
Maybe a little bit. Like,
Well, I started thinking about it.
gosh, you make no sense.
Hold on,
well,
I
think
do.
the biggest thing. I
Yeah,
think
go
the
ahead.
biggest thing is just like clearly the coaching staff doesn't want to make him that like 40 touch type of person anymore because of health. Like they want to
Yeah.
keep him in there.
Exactly.
And I agree
And
with
I'm happy
that.
with that.
But yeah, that hurts his fantasy value a little bit. And Baker's a gunslinger
Well,
too, so
Yeah, and like Baker's new there. They're still figuring out who they are on offense. I think time, like it's going to get better. But also I wanted to mention this. You guys were giving me crap in the draft for not taking a running back. You remember this?
We remember, yeah.
no.
But
So yeah, my point is I've got a little statistic here for you boys. How many running backs do you think right now are in the top 10 in terms of overall fantasy scoring?
10.
Excuse me? No, I'm not talking about running. No, geez. I'm not talking about in running back scoring. I said overall. Oh my
how
god.
many running backs are overall
Overall
top 10?
fantasy scoring.
You gotta reward it better than that.
The top 10 should probably be quarterbacks, so maybe
Okay.
none.
Well, there are a couple quarterbacks in there, yes. But yeah, okay. Maybe that isn't as, but you would think
Oh my gosh.
you would think that there would be a running back in there, right? At least one. But there's
Yeah.
not. Like this year, it's been all wide receivers so far. Steph Diggs is number 1. Cooper Kupp is number 2. And then
This is
obviously
overall scoring.
yeah, overall scoring. Steph Diggs is averaging 35 points a game. Wait, what did he do week 1? Because that doesn't even sound right.
He went nuts week 2.
I know week
38
2 he
some
did.
fantasy points. Week 1 he went like 15, 16 maybe.
Oh, I don't understand. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I should have looked into the
You should have. This is
see if this
embarrassing.
tweet was even accurate.
Well, it might be a PPR as well.
Yeah, I think this is probably full PPR.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp's there, Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jalen
He had
Waddle.
22.2 week 1,
Okay.
38.8 week
Yeah.
2.
And then obviously Josh Allen,
Yeah,
Lamar
it's
Jackson,
a little lower in our league. Okay.
Jalen Hurts. Michael Pittman's even up there, even though he didn't play week 2. But so yeah, I mean the point is not a single running back. It's just weird. I thought that was interesting.
I
mean, is that not interesting to you?
It
But
is.
there's-
It is not normal yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, because normally you get some running backs just going absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
And I think our point with running backs though too is you're going to be scrambling.
Yeah, if
one
I
of
have an
those
injury.
guys get hurt.
I
Yeah,
understand.
and that was my.
What do you
main
mean? I've got
concern
Devin
because-
Singletary.
Yeah, Chris McCaffrey, heck, played how many games last 2 years? And DeAndre Swift, who just came back from a huge
Okay, and if
injury. the
DeAndre
year
Swift
before,
gets
right?
hurt, I have Jamal Williams.
That helps.
That helps.
Might have to go after Chuba
But-
here soon.
Oh boy.
Chuba. Chuba.
Chuba, Chubby, whatever.
All right. Okay. Well, thanks for that, Q.
You're welcome.
Thanks for that interesting stat.
You're
there.
welcome.
Okay. So, who's winning this matchup here? The Philadelphia Queefers versus Savage Fest Kids.
Yeah, the Queefers are going to take this one home.
Queefles.
I also believe that
Yep.
Foles will win.
Me too. I'm with you. Who's winning the overall matchup?
Yeah, this is
tough.
tough.
I would say how many times they played?
They have played, 21 times.
Wow.
21 times. Oh my.
21 times.
I would say TC 12-10.
Well, that's
12 to 10
22.
TC.
That's 22
Yeah.
times.
Jeez, you guys.
Oh wait, how many times they played?
21 times.
Oh, I thought you said 22. Then let's go 12-9.
12 to 9
12 to
TC
9.
is what you're saying?
Yep.
What do you think, Keel?
I'm going to say 11 to 10 me.
11 to 10 you.
Yeah.
Okay, you said TC, Skin?
Yep.
Okay, TC, you get one of that. TC is defeating Q.
11.
All right. 15-6.
Huh?
Oh, yikes, bro.
15-6.
What?
Is that matchup by TC. Wow. The most wins between an individual, an individual in the flock. The most wins.
TC's like the Bears and I'm like the Packers. He just owns me.
You mean?
No, I mean flip-flop that.
Yeah,
sorry. Well, I'm just lost.
You are lost today. You are lost today. Yeah. All right, but TC, that could, I don't know.
Well, it's about to be 15-7.
It's about to start evening out the next couple of seasons.
Yeah, no kidding.
Absolutely. Let's move on to the next matchup. We got the Magic School Bus versus Scotty Benji's team of CD Nuts. These guys battling an undefeated team versus a 1-1 team. This one should be an interesting one. Might be the closest one we have this week. We will see. Projection score pretty close. Let's start with the Magic School Bus team. He's got sticking with those two guys he had last week in Murray and Goff. Cook and Jones still in there as running backs. Chase, Mike Williams, Marquise Brown, his wide receivers, Mark Andrews, tight end, Javonte Williams, and Jalen Waddle, his flexes. What do you guys think about Keegan Scott's team?
Yeah, I mean, team is good. Team is very solid, top to bottom. Don't necessarily love the Aaron Jones Tampa Bay matchup, but you can't bench Aaron Jones. Don't necessarily love the Jalen Waddle Buffalo matchup as well, but again, can't bench Jalen Waddle. So,
well, I mean, he benched him week 1.
True. He has.
So
yeah.
So he could bench him.
He's not intelligent. But yeah, no, solid team. Should be high scoring affair between both these guys.
Yeah, my only thing is Marquise Brown. I mean, he's going up against the Rams, who haven't been amazing. I mean, the app says they're 31st against the pass, but Jalen Ramsey's there. I think, I don't know. I mean, Marquise Brown looks like he was targeted 11 times last week, so 6 catches on 11 targets, 68 yards. Solid week for him. I don't know. Keegan, he started in both weeks, so he must see something. I haven't watched a single game of the Cardinals, but I think if Gabe Davis is healthy, he'd be in my lineup.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great.
I think as long as Hopkins and Rondell Moore are out, I think Marquise Brown's an auto start. Him and Kyle are just they're best friends. They went to college together.
Yeah.
You got to start it because of that chemistry. I mean, he's been getting targeted. I don't know why you would bench him, but he hasn't exploded. He's not the sexiest guy, but I think I understand the play.
Yeah.
Is this team right here again, week 3, but is Keegan's team a playoff team?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Playoffs. Who do you Who do you think is all making the playoffs? You, right?
Me and Keegan.
And Keegan, okay. Yeah. Scotty?
Probably Benzing, yes.
And then the fourth one?
The fourth one, I would probably go with Q.
Q, okay. But you think Keegan is safe third? Again, anything that can happen in fantasy, but with the team currently after seeing 2 weeks of these players here.
Yeah.
Keegan, third best team.
Okay. I think he's pretty much right there. I think my roster and his roster are pretty close overall. I'll give mine an edge, but you know,
big edge.
Why don't you like every time we talk about Keegan's, like you just get flustered, like you don't like it. You think, yeah, you were saying Keegan was a cupcake last week, and then he scored like 200 points.
No, I didn't. Not last week.
No, when we were talking about the matchups.
Talking about the matchups.
Yes, you said you think this is a cupcake roster.
His thinking makes him a cupcake. Him benching Waddle, if he continues to make decisions like that, he's a cupcake team. That's what I meant.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have to be louder to get that through your head? Am I wrong? If he makes decisions
Yeah, I
like that,
think
he's
you
got a
are
great
wrong.
team. If he makes the right decision, he's got a good, solid squad. But if you bench your number 1 draft pick, cupcake. That's what my point was. And I think I'm right. Stand behind it. Put my foot down.
Okay.
His QB2 spot is his obvious glaring weakness.
But I mean, not last week.
I mean, yeah, but Jared Goff is not going to do that every week.
I think he
Well,
found a nut.
the thing is, the Lions are pretty good. Like, yeah, I agree. He's not going to score 30 points every week. But I'm not too upset if I'm Keegan having Jared Goff sitting there. Like, sorry, like, I honestly think the Lions are tough as heck this year.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And Goff's been playing great.
Pleasant surprise.
Okay, let's move on to Scotty's team. Patrick Mahomes, Tua went nutty last week, as we mentioned. Austin Eckler, Harris is running backs. CeeDee Lamb still getting targeted pretty well, even though Dak is out. I think he was targeted 11 times again. Cortland Sutton had a pretty good week last week. So did Michael Thomas. Tyler Higbee still in his lineup. He'll probably see what George Kittle is this week. And Josh Jacobs and Miles Sanders in as his flex spot. What do you guys think about that?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Still has Amari Cooper on the bench.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
Amari Cooper or Miles Sanders? I'm talking to you, Skin, because we know what Q will say.
I mean, we should already know what you should say, too, because it's not easy. It's not close.
What do you think, Skin? What do you think?
I mean, yeah, probably Amari Cooper.
What?
That's what I think.
That's just bozo talk.
What? I mean, he's had 1 touchdown, last week. He had 10 fantasy points. Amari Cooper going up against Pittsburgh this week.
Miles Sanders is the starting running back on the...
He caught 9 of his 10 targets, 100 yards.
On literally the number 1 running team in football and basically the second or third best overall team in football. I'm sorry, Miles Sanders has to be a starter.
It might be over Josh Jacobs than Miles Sanders, but I mean, Eagles love them putting in other guys in the red zone.
The only thing with Miles, the problem is Jalen Hurts is going to steal some rushing touchdowns, obviously.
Kenneth Gainwell's going to steal some
so
rushing
Boston Scott too. They rotate their running backs especially when they get in the goal line. But
yeah, that's like half of fantasy is getting a touchdown.
You're right. I agree. But I would, if you're going to bench anyone there, I would bench Josh Jacobs over. Because the Eagles' offensive line is better. Miles, in my opinion, is just better than Josh Jacobs. Yeah. So I don't think you bench him, but.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I don't think it's like an obvious decision either way, and I think Benzing likes going with that running back heavy set. He kind of always has. But yeah, he also is weak in the receiving core. So, yeah, I don't know. It's I mean, still a solid team from top to bottom. Essentially, that starting lineup is. So I think he's got some tough decisions, and probably is going to be one of those people looking for some trades in terms of increasing his wide receiver position. Because he has a stable of backs on his bench too. Damian Pierce and Kareem
Me and Scotty
Hunt.
might have to do some talking because I've got a stable of receivers, and he's got a stable.
That's
easy Skin.
I guess let's play with Scotty's brain here because it's always enjoyable to do. Is CeeDee Lamb? Does he still bring the scare factor?
No, not really.
Because I mean, heck, right now we mentioned it.
I would say
last week. Q, right now it's looking like you escaped that trade there.
Yeah.
I think it was you that mentioned that, Skin. CeeDee Lamb, last 2 weeks he's 46th position ranked now, not good. And that's supposed to be his best wide receiver. Concerns there.
Yeah, major concerns, especially for what you traded to get him. You love the 11 targets, though, both weeks. I mean, you can't get much better than that. But, I mean, when Dak was throwing him the ball, he only had 2 catches week 1. I guess it was against Tampa Bay, so tough matchup. I do see things improving, but it also looked like Cooper Rush. Who did he practice with a lot of the time? The second string, Noah Brown. Noah Brown had his eye most of the day. So it's one of those where I think it's going to be a up and down season for CeeDee Lamb, and he's probably going to have some tough decisions to make in the off season. But
So he's got two keepers right there. CeeDee Lamb being a keeper, Austin Eckler kind of falls in the same category, not inside the top 15 running back wise, hasn't had outstanding weeks. I think 9 points, 13 points. I mean, he's supposed to be one of your keepers. Heck, I'm kind of in a similar boat. I have two keepers not doing that well.
Yeah, Zeke with 10 points overall.
Right, and then Derrick Henry. But
Eckler had 10 targets last. Like he had 9 catches on. I'm not worried about Eckler.
I'm not as worried about Eckler either.
Okay.
He'll get his.
CD definitely worried there. But again, like you said, 11 targets. I don't think Scotty's too worried. He's got 11 targets in both games. But the thing is, and this was a trend with him last year too. He got targeted a lot. He just didn't really.
Doesn't
do a lot with them. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, overall though, he's got a really good team.
Does he trade him?
CD?
Does he trade CeeDee Lamb?
I don't think he can find somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
Trade him with his lowest value right now.
So he just rides the.
He's not TC. Yeah. TC gets rid of his guys at their lowest possible value. That's his mistake.
Well,
okay. All right. Who wins between these guys? Good one.
I'm gonna say Keegan. I think Jamar Chase. I think Jamar Chase goes off for a big one. And Dalvin Cook goes off for a massive one as well. The two guys who didn't do well last week, I think they blow up this week.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Yeah. Man, this is tough. I'm gonna go with Scotty though. Looking back and forth on the rosters, obviously I really like Keegan's team, but I think Patrick Mahomes going up against the Colts, he's gonna have a nice bounce back week. He's gonna go off. Tua is against Buffalo. We know that that's gonna be a tough matchup for him. But if it turns into a shootout and Tua, who knows, man? After what I saw,
I don't think any team can shoot out with Buffalo. I mean, they made the Rams look like a high school offense, and they made the Titans look like they shouldn't be in the NFL. So, which they
they probably shouldn't.
One seed last year, just. Abysmal.
I think Eckler. Yeah, I think Eckler has a nice bounce back game here.
I agree. I think Eckler has a big game against Jacksonville.
And then we'll see Miles Sanders. It could be Josh Jacobs too. Both of those guys could have really good games. So. I think it's going to be close, but I'm going to give Scotty the edge. I'm going to go with Scotty.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I got to go with Magic School Bus here. I think it will serve Scotty his first loss of the season. Yep. We will see overall matchup. Again, a little bit smaller than others. They've only battled 6 times. 6 times. Who's winning?
I'm going to say 4-2, Keegan.
I will say. You said 4 times? Only 4 times?
6 times.
6 times. 4-2.
What?
I'm gonna say tied 3-3.
Okay, Q. Good job.
Thank you.
Good job. Skin, you get one of those. Okay.
I just didn't want to copy out.
Keegan is beating Scott 4-2. Q cheated again. He looked again. 4-2. Keegan's beating Scotty. Okay. Moving on to our last matchup. Brownie Batter Team versus Terry's Terrorist here. Again, could be another close one as well. I guess these teams are a little bit weaker than the last matchup, but I mean, heck, personal opinion, but we'll see what the, projections scored there. I think it'll still be a good one. We'll start with the Brownie Batter Team. Russell Wilson going up against San Francisco Sunday night. He's got Derek Carr in there. Barkley and Montgomery still in there, running backs. A.J. Brown, Tyreek Hill, Garrett Wilson's in there. Look at that. Good for Connor there. He's in his third wide receiver. Kyle Pitts still sitting there peacefully smiling. Antonio Gibson and Hunter Renfrow, his flex options. Some changes here for the Brownie Batter team. What do you guys think? Justin Fields still on the bench.
Well, Connor, I'm going to say this. He deserves to lose every single week going forward as long as his team name is Brownie Batter and he's got a picture of Andy Dalton still. That needs to change to A.J. Brown.
It needs to change.
I'm tired of looking at Andy Dalton.
I know, right?
Like,
and A.J. Brown's face on there is just so much more.
yes.
It is, yeah. It's
attractive, beautiful.
He's bad, man. Just get him smiling with those Dolce & Gabbana sunglasses.
Okay. All right, let's stick to the script here.
Okay,
let's
sorry.
to the script.
Yeah, I'm gonna get turned on if we keep. Anyway, sorry. But no, I mean, I like the move of putting Garrett Wilson in. Now, what I will say, I don't really like the quarterbacks. I really don't.
Derek Carr is gonna have a heyday.
Yeah, he could. But I'm just saying, in general,
no one's gonna cover Devontae Adams on that team.
I hope not. Personally,
I mean, Christian Fulton might be back. He's our only hope.
But here, the one thing I would do if Julio Jones is playing, I'm playing Julio Jones in my opinion.
Chris Godwin's supposed to be playing, right?
I've been keeping. I don't think so. I mean, it says questionable, but he's still projected at 0. So. I'm not sure. I've been keeping an eye on that.
I don't know if I would have enough trust. I think he's got the right guys in there right now. I wouldn't have enough trust in Julio Jones right now, currently.
I agree. And Hunter Renfrow had 10 targets last week. I know Devontae had a very slow game, but it's against Tennessee. They could put up 50. Who knows? It's just... Yeah, I mean, this could be me being biased off of last week. They're not Josh Allen and the Bills by any means, but, man, they just don't look good. So their secondary is terrible.
Yeah.
All right.
My thing, I don't know. If Julio Jones is playing, like, when you see that guy, like, he literally looks like a Greek god, basically. Like,
I mean, and
then Hunter Renfrow literally looks like a guy on the couch.
DK Metcalf.
Yes,
do that too.
But DK and like not many people, man. DK Metcalf and Julio Jones are in the same class. Yeah. Not many people in the world, let alone the NFL, look like that.
I mean, him looking like that isn't really helping him stay healthy. Like you're going to put Julio in your lineup, and he's going to tweak a hamstring in the second quarter. Like Hunter Renfrow has been solid. Like because he looks like a potato. Like. Doesn't matter.
It does matter though. I want my lineup to be as swaggy as possible. I don't want.
He looks like a potato.
I don't want that little white boy who hasn't shaved his freaking stubble off in 3 weeks out of my team.
He's shifty.
All right, let's move on. Terry's terrorists. Matthew Stafford. He's got his $7 in there. Geno Smith against Atlanta. We'll see how that looks for him. Fournette, Joe Mixon still in there. Running backs, Deebo Samuel, Terry McLaurin, Drake London. Good for Merckx there, having Drake London, Travis Kelce in there. His tight end, James Conner, and Jerry Jeudy. How do you feel about his team here?
I think
Evans suspended.
Yeah, I think Jeudy would probably be out if Evans wasn't suspended. But in my personal opinion, I would be putting in probably Cordell Patterson over Jeudy.
Yeah, it's a tough one because Patterson really just did not get the carries that he did week 1.
Still got. Well, he had 10 carries, but not the same. Agreed, but
not the same.
I mean, first of all, he needs to put Trey Lance in his IR and just pick up some bodies to fill out the.
Give him time. Give him time.
That's what fantasy players do.
The switch only stays on for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, but he deserves a round of applause for putting Drake London in there.
Yeah. You don't think Skin he should be putting in Traylon Burks just yet?
No. I would not start any Titans player that's not named Derrick Henry, and even if I'm starting Derrick Henry, I'm nervous.
Heck, even with Kyle Phillips, heck, man, I snagged him up. Like, why not?
Just snagged him up.
And then he freaking dropped a punt catch, just bounced right off the shoulder.
He's muffed up 2 weeks in a row.
No, I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, Vrabel is not going to allow that to happen anymore. So he probably lost his punt return job.
Yeah.
But I mean, the kid has potential, but again, like, I don't know. What do you do? Like, they're just not good. I mean, yeah. Who thought giving up our 23-year-old superstar wide receiver would have made us better? Who thought that? Not sure who thought that, but that's a bad move. So, yeah. What can you do? You know, I was excited about a rebuild for the Titans, but but gosh, you get rid of your young receiver. There you go. That's what you get. Sorry, Derek. Sorry for being here and having to deal with this. I'm done.
Oh, gosh. All right. You all right?
No, I'm not all right.
Yeah, he's not.
All right. Who wins this matchup? Good one.
Yeah, this could be a good one. Until Connor changes that picture, I'm not picking him. So I'm going with Marcus.
I'm going with Connor because of all those Qs, those questionable designations that are on there. James Conner, when he gets hurt, I'm not sure. Jerry Jeudy, I don't know what I've heard about him. Leonard Fournette's got a Q next to his name. I expect a Saquon bounce back. I expect David Montgomery to find the end zone once at least against Houston. I expect A.J. Brown to go nuts against Washington.
I see the opposite. I see Marcus' team doing well. I think, heck, Juno Smith could do well against Atlanta. I could see that happen. Joe Mixon didn't have a good week last week, and neither did Fournette. I see those guys seeing the end zone a couple of times maybe, and I think Marcus escapes, making him a first win of the year.
I agree.
All right, let's overall matchup, Marcus or Connor. They've played 10 times. 10 times.
I'm going, oh boy. I'm going 5-4 Mercs.
They've played 10 times.
6-4
what is your deal?
Sorry. 6-4 Mercs.
This is cute.
Still got me zero the Titans over here.
I'm going to go 6-4 Connor.
6-4 Mercs, 6-4 Connor.
Yeah.
Both of you get one of these. Both of you.
5-5.
It is tied 5-5. Key matchup here for that battle, Connor versus Marcus. Marcus is still the only Flog member without a winning record. The only Flog member who has not seen the championship side of the playoffs.
And it's funny you mentioned that because, like, at the beginning of this season, before it started, we were talking. You would mention that, and we're like, "Well, I think this is Marcus's year."
You guys say that all the time.
I know, and then he starts off 0-2. Not good.
He could go 0-3 right here.
Yeah, he could.
If he does, heck, this is Marcus. I would say if he does, should he make a move? But he's not going to. He's not going to.
Yeah.
So heck, it's let's go with this. If he goes 0-3, a normal fantasy owner, should he get scared and make a move? Ship away? Or should he make a move to get somebody stronger here? I think he's got the pieces.
One or the other. I say yes.
Yeah, I think you start looking to make moves, but I don't know. With his roster, I feel like the better move would be to try to add a piece.
Yeah.
See, I disagree because with his roster is solid, but like when you put it up against yours, put it up against Keegan, like I don't know, man. I liked it at the beginning of the year, but I guess the more I just load it up and look at it, I really don't like it. Like
Marcus's team?
Yeah. Especially now that Trey Lance, like, is just done.
You said you liked him. You really liked it.
I did really like it. I thought it was probably a playoff team, but
So is it kind of like the same situation what you did earlier?
what?
What do you do with that, Skin?
Oh, I have zero concern.
I have zero
maybe
concerns. Or maybe a little bit.
How is that the same?
Is that this? I mean, you were all about Marcus's team in the beginning of the year. Now it's some concerns here.
I just think Mike Evans back in that lineup, and you can drop Jerry Jeudy or James. I mean, James Conner, I think will turn it around. But yeah, drop Jerry Jeudy off onto the bench.
Okay, but say he makes a move and gets a big piece. Like, does that make him a contender against you?
Well, I mean,
Good point.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
not
he would have to make
necessarily.
2 moves or 3. Like, I just.
But all that has to happen is he makes one move and one of my stars get hurt.
Well, I agree, but the thing is, we're saying if he's 0-3, he one move isn't going to save. I'm sorry my opinion is if you start 0-3, you gotta. I'm looking to next year.
The season's too long to give up at 0-3.
I
Personally, I
disagree.
think.
That's what you did last year, Keel. Look at you.
Especially when Marcus was the second highest scorer last week. I mean, he scored in the 170s, so his team can do it. And Trey Lance was no part of that. So
Not last week, week 1.
yeah, week 1.
Yeah.
You know, and he had a terrible week last week, but yeah, I don't think it's time to give up. Even if he goes 0-3.
Game tonight. Pittsburgh Steelers versus Cleveland Browns. Good one here on that silly Prime Video.
Is it good?
Huh?
We're watching Mitch Trubisky and Jacoby Brissett. Is that good?
Nick
It's
Chubb
football.
and
Oh, it's
Harris.
football.
Hey,
It's football.
it's football.
True.
Football on a Thursday night.
Nick
Come
Chubb
on.
and Najee Harris is more the
Yeah,
draw.
that's
there, for
the
sure.
headline there. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys
Before
got
we,
any last words?
yeah, I
Okay.
do. I'm not done. I'm not done with Marcus's thing just yet. Because like, yeah, you say like think about it. If you don't give up at 0-3, you're just gonna be in this like perpetual state of like mediocreness. You know what I'm saying? Like you need to acquire a ton of draft picks to really like bolster your
Which
team
is
or
exactly why we need to make the punishment stronger, because you still don't care about getting last.
No, I do. Trust me, I didn't want to get last, and I shouldn't really have. If you,
But
like,
you gave up. You gave up and shipped away too soon.
yes, I did, but I still only lost the toilet bowl by 2 points. And
You
I should,
lost.
and I lost the
got
matchup before
last.
that by like
Because you
0.5.
gave up too soon.
It's not no. But now I'm back and being competitive. Look at TC, who didn't give up, who almost made. Did he make the playoffs or almost made the
He
playoffs?
made the playoffs.
Yeah,
last
and then
year, yes.
his team was terrible. He shouldn't
Okay,
have.
but that's a different thing. He's also made
I
some
agree.
bad moves in the offseason.
I agree, but he made the playoffs and his team was considerably less talented than yours and everyone else, so he had no chance.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. I think Marcus, he's got to do. Right now he's just stuck in this state where his team is like middle of the road, and I just don't. That's not good enough.
Yep. Well, heck, we will see. We will see after this week if that's the road that Marcus has to go down. Again, though, this is Marcus. This is Marcus. He'll think about it for 1 minute and then he'll move on. So, I don't think even if he goes on 3, there's not going to be a move being made here.
Yeah.
So, well, hey, fellas, again, okay, Q. Skin, you got any last words or comments? Q
Nope.
used his up.
I use mine up.
Okay.
Good luck.
Good luck. You too, Skin. You too.
Thanks.
All right. Well, hey, fellas, thank you so much. Super long one today, but very useful, very fun, and exciting. We got week 3, approaching week 3. Should be a fun one, enjoyable one here in the FLOGcast in the Flog League. Fellas, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for listening. You have listened to the FLOGcast Network. Everybody stay safe.